Okay. Again, we're glad to have each of you in our audience today. Some are missing, of course, Sister Rosemary and the girls, but good to have you today. You know, as you go down the religious road, or even just going down the street, and you meet people, and you ask people, for example, you might just try this sometime. Are you religious? Just ask people that. And if you want to get a good door opener, and if you want to set up Bible study, just ask people questions like that. And so you might just ask people, would you consider yourself a religious person? Well, you'll get all kinds of different answers, won't you? Some will say, well, probably, I don't know, I don't think about it that much. And some would say, well, yeah, I probably would consider myself as a religious person. And then others would say, perhaps, well, yes, I'm a religious person. And someone else might say, well, yes, I'm a very religious person. And so you get all kinds of different answers when you ask that question. And then you might ask the question then, are you saved? And again, you'll get all kinds of different answers. Some people say, well, I hope so, or I think I am, or I'd like to believe I am, or I just don't know. And again, various questions or answers to that question. And then you ask if you've been saved. And most people would say, at least that I'm acquainted with, well, yeah, I've been saved. And then you ask the question then, how were you saved? When were you saved? And some will say, well, I probably was saved as an infant when I was sprinkled. My parents had me sprinkled as an infant, so I was probably saved then. And others will say, well, I was saved when I was a certain age, and I was in church, and they called for people to come down front, and we went down to the mourner's bench, and they prayed for us, and we were saved at that point. And then others will say, well, I was saved in a different manner. I was saved when I was just out doing something, and all of a sudden there was a light appeared to me, and I just knew that I was saved. I just felt it in my heart. And so you ask these questions, beloved, and as you ask these questions, you get all sorts of different answers. And so today, I want us to look at a lesson in regards to the subject, how are we saved, or how are you saved? First of all, let's look at the fact of how we are not saved. I hope you can see the screen from where you are, but first of all, we are not saved by keeping the law. And do you know, many people in the religious world today believe that if they keep part of the Old Testament law, and you couldn't keep the entire law if you tried, but many people today believe that they are saved by keeping at least part of the Old Testament law. But let's look at what the Bible has to say in regards to that.